increases or grants of pension or a pension increase. I guess there'd be four of them. I was on put my pensions together. Compared to last year and this year, there's been an increase. And I think Don talked about that. If they got an increase in their workload, that means that we got an increase in our workload, which means all of you out there have been increasing the amount of work that you've been doing by getting those veterans to us. So those numbers reflect, say last year, we did 6,251 of those type of awards or rating actions. And that could have included multiple issues. We're just talking about the end result of the rating decision and how much money that generated to the veteran. That's one award. They could have had multiple issues on it. So last year we did 6,251. This year, or the same period, reporting period, we did 7,872. So you can see we were up 1,621 claims, or 1,621 of those awards. Now, what did that result in monetary gains? Last year, the 14 to 15, that generated $96,167,713 of income to the state, paid to the veterans. This year, that's 100, or the same reporting period from 15 to 16, from May to May, it is up to $106 million, $284,834, which is an increase of $10 million. So you can see that every bit of your work that you do out there translates back into not just work, but rewards or awards for the veteran community in very large amounts. So while I have my volunteers, how many volunteer chapter service officers do I have? All right. How many department, keep your hands up. How many hospital service coordinators or department service officers are here? If you're both of those, put both your hands up. All right. You settle down back there. You get one more scrumming, you're going to be falling out of the chair. So you can see just about everybody in this room raised their hand. So everybody in this room takes part in what we do. Electronic claims. I want to talk a little bit about that. That's the wave of the future. That's why the VA is able to do a claim in 90 days. And it used to take, when I came off active duty 13 years ago, it used to take about a year. It took me 13 months to get a decision coming off active duty. Now a veteran can get that in 60, 80, 90 days. The key to it is electronic. Submitting our claims electronic to the VA. Cuts down time. If the VA schedules an exam, here's what used to happen in the paper world. They would take that file and they would mail it to Birmingham, and they would put it in a FedEx box, and they would wait till they gathered up enough and then FedEx it up to Birmingham to do C&P exams. They would get up there, they would sign for it, they would break them all out, they would do their exams, and they would have to box all those back up, and they would send them back down. And you know, a file or two got misplaced doing that. And some sat in the corner and they took a while. And it's only human nature when you're dealing with that much stuff, that's going to happen, no matter what business you're in. So that would take, what, 3 months, 6 months? To get all that back? Now it's a click of a button, everything's electronic. If I want a doctor in Birmingham to do a C&P exam, that doctor only needs a social security number or the VA claim number, and they've got that record. There is no more mailing it back and forth. So there's a big benefit to doing that. So what have we done in that area? Last year, when I say last year, I'm talking about the 14 to 15 reporting period, as opposed to this year, it would be the 15 to 16. So last year we submitted electronic power of attorneys, we submitted 186, and we submitted 2,453. This year, we submitted 2,607 and 464 being electronic. So we need to push electronics. We're going in the right direction. We need to keep pushing those in the right direction. That number we don't have a lot of control over because the veterans typically give us their power of attorney. Now the other one we do have a lot more control over, and that's an electronic claim. If you submit a claim electronically through e-benefits, you're going to get that claim done probably twice as fast as if they submit it on paper. Because if you give me paper, here's what happens. You give me paper, I get it in my office, I put a letter on it, I give it to the VA boxes it up, and they mail it up to Janesville, Wisconsin, to be scanned into a PDF file and sent back down to the RO. No work is being done on this claim. Well, it's being mailed up there and sent back down. How long does that process take? It's getting better. It used to be months. Now we're down to weeks. But again, something can get lost in that mailing process. Mailman may be having a bad day that day. Don't know. If you do that electronically, as soon as you hit submit, it's in the VA's computer system and they're working on it. You're not waiting weeks to send it around. So push electronic claims. All right, National Work Queue. You heard Don talk about that a little bit. This all plays together with e-benefits and the National Work Queue. It's all electronic. We're doing away with borders. The VA is doing away with borders and ROs across the board. It's designed to allow the claim to get done the quickest. Here's what kind of happened in the past. If you had an RO that was really good at getting claims ready for a decision, but a little slower making those decisions, they would wait and stagnate until they got around to making a decision. This National Work Queue looks at all of that across the board and it says, hey, there's some openings for work over here, and I can electronically push those over to them. And they can do that job over there and then electronically send it back. So it's evened out, and that's why they can now do that across the board like that. It's all electronic, that's the way to be. I know we hear some of the older generation saying, I'm not very computer literate. They don't need to be. You do. You sign them up for e-benefits. You submit their power of attorney. I get it through SEP, I accept it. I just unlock all VA's computer systems to me. That quick. If you do that on paper, I gotta mail it. It's gotta go through the process. It's gotta come back. So a week to 10 days later, I might be able to answer your question instead of right now. When they go to submit the claim, you can help them go all the way through the claim, attach all their DBQs, and go all the way through to the submit button and stop. Why are you going to stop, Deb?
I'm sorry,
I know. Because you're not supposed to submit anything to the VA without going through us first if you're a volunteer. Right? So you go all the way through the submit button with the veteran. Tell me it's in there. I'll go into my side of that veteran's e-benefits account, review that claim, look at their attachments, what they're submitting, and do one of two things. I'll click submit if everything is good, or I'll call that vet back and say, hey, you mentioned dependents, but you didn't do a dependency form. Go do a dependency form, attach it, and then let me know again when it's done. And then I go in and I do what I gotta do and I hit submit. And we're off on the fast track instead of that slow track. So please, if you're helping veterans out there and you want to help them and do the best service you can, and I know that's what we want to do, electronic claims is the way to do it. I've got a goal, my office has a goal. Our national organization has set a goal that 20% of all of our claims should be submitted electronically this year. And next year we're going to bump that up. And next year after that we're going to bump that up again. So you got to help me meet my goals. Which is where I want to leave my last remark is, I want to thank everybody out here. Chad mentioned earlier about my promotion, and I couldn't have done that without all of your help. I'm not a Superman or anything like that. I just surround myself with a bunch of talented people. My staff in my office, all the volunteers here. Chad, for some reason, must have given a good report about me because I think he spoke for about 45 minutes and I still got the job. So I'm going to thank every one of you for that, because without your help, I wouldn't look as good as I do. All right, I don't think I have anything else unless anybody has any questions for me. Just thank you for all that you do and continue to do it.